on building those things here.
Good morning to those who are listening. It's April 7th, 2025, 1:34 a.m. And in the background is Canadian Prepper. I don't watch him very much because he usually makes it out, make things to be out worse than what they are. But he's talking about the global markets right now and what is going on with, some of the have opened, I guess, and, or getting ready to open. We still got a little time for, the United States, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ to go live. But in here, if you listen in the background a little bit, I'll try to just show some stuff while he's talking in the background. So there is some good information there. And he's talking about how some, it's already been 2 countries. What was it? Japan and I can't remember the other country, but he says when they get to a certain percentage, Japan, when they get to a 7% drop, they shut it down. They turn off the circuit breaker, I guess is what he says, but they shut it down so the trading can't resume. It's like a cooling off period. So it will maybe help things so that it doesn't keep plummeting, I guess. And I heard that if we get to 4.5%, that's what he said in here, then that would happen here in the United States too. But let's listen in the background, and I'm just going to show some numbers here in the background. And then I also, I was looking for news articles on it, and there's really nothing nothing that's current. It's all like 5-6 hours ago. Him in the background is about an hour old. And then I asked ChatGPT, just for the heck of it, to see what it thinks about what the outlook is for today for the global markets.
There's a major war coming between China, the United States, Iran, Russia, UK, Europe, all of the key players, and this dog and pony show about tariffs being the single isolating factor.
It's not just that.
Is just a scapegoat. The reality is that big nations are about to go to war, and this is the decoupling. This is what it looks like. Today,
most countries are like at least 4% down.
And you know what the dead giveaway for this theory was for me? Was that the Taiwanese president came out today and said, we will actually remove any tariffs that Trump wants. We want parity in trade. We will do whatever Trump asks. And still, the Taiwanese stock market plunges 10%. Of course, one could make
11%, almost 12%.
It's very intimately tied with
the futures, I guess, for us,
however, you would think
it's already past the 4.5%.
For investing in Taiwan. It isn't, because right now the Chinese military is encircling Taiwan and they could make their move at any moment. I believe that's what this is really about. This crash that we're seeing, the big money knows that there's big wars coming that are going to be very disruptive to the supply chain on a COVID level, which is why we're seeing a COVID crash. Hong Kong down 9%, Japan down 8.5%. I mean, these numbers are staggering, okay? China down 7.1%, Singapore 7.1%, Australia down 6.4%, South Korea 5%, Germany 5%, UK 4.7%. Right now we have the NASDAQ futures in the USA down 4.43%, France down 4.3%, Philippines, the biggest economies in the world. This collapse is global. The only thing holding the line is gold. Robinhood stock.
Of course, commercial. But it looks like, it's been an hour since his video, so there's been some change, and, there's not going to be exact numbers.
To get specific with U.S. equities, down 17% in overnight trading. A cataclysmic crash, and there's still a long way down from.
So I've also noticed, too, that there's a lot of people investing on the short, that it's going to, all the shorts, lots of activity on there.
Down 10%, and that stock is down how much? Since the beginning of the year, Tesla down another 10%. We could break $200 today. That flaming Cybertruck in front of Trump Towers. Tell me that wasn't prescient. We have Nvidia down 10%, Broadcom 10%, AMD 9%, Amazon 6%, Alphabet 6%. The only thing, like I said, holding the line is gold, and that's because the Chinese are buying it. In fact, when the markets, the Asian markets, before they opened and futures trading opened here in the United States,
just another format that they put it in.
Below 3,000, and this is because there's a lot of selling pressure because hedge funds need liquidity to cover all the big margin calls, and you're going to see that. You're going to see gold go down a little bit more, and that's just because
here's what he was just talking about. Tesla's down 10%, Apple 7%, Amazon 4%,
as the Chinese markets
Microsoft 3.5%.
Shot up. Okay, they are scooping up as much of this stuff as they can, and surprisingly, silver also shot up despite futures.
Thought about investing in a little silver.
Hammered right now.
I don't really have any money to invest.
Now, last week, silver disproportionately lost compared to equities. It was down.
So it looks like it's going. It's getting better. It was at 5% when I was looking at. Well,
now we're seeing it rise.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's look again.
Expert tomorrow. Physical
oh no.
Market. We had a technical.
Dow Jones is still 5.5, but remember, it has. Markets haven't opened yet. These are just futures.
What he's going to say is that largely the industrial bearish news has been factored in because, of course, silver is used for industrial purposes, but also
all right, so there it is. I don't want to make this long, but
jewelry. But the industrial bearish news has possibly already been priced in.
I'm going to see if he gets to that one point.
To silver because 7%, I believe that's where their circuit breakers.
There we go. All right, hold on. Listen to this in the background.
As well as Ethereum. So the Chinese are also selling their 10-year government bonds, and they're exchanging that for gold as well. So everybody is moving to gold. The Japanese had to flip the circuit breakers today because the stock market crash went below 7%. I believe that's where their circuit breakers are set. That's basically just a thing that temporarily suspends trading on the markets to try to mitigate the panic a little bit and the hysteria. There's a circuit breaker that could get flipped tomorrow. If we're down 4.5% in futures trading,
he might be talking about Canada.
If we don't see that circuit breaker get flipped tomorrow as well. Taiwan also had to trigger their circuit breaker in order to try to curtail a very, very steep crash. Brokerage firms are also sending out warnings that this could indeed happen tomorrow as we're looking at 15%.
And they're talking about Black Monday. So
the last 3 days.
So Black Monday, bad day in the stock market, but what if it's actually black as in a blackout? What if they shut down the markets by shutting off the power? I don't know, I just thought of that for some reason. Sometimes I think of weird things. But when I think the blackout, talking about the blackout, it's going to happen. I still think it's going to happen on a Friday. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Is something going to happen today? Later today? Because it's early morning right now. I don't know. I just thought I would do a video. I felt compelled, just in case something does happen, maybe might just be alert a little bit in case, something could happen, I guess. I don't know. Thanks for watching. God bless.